my cherished ducklings. So happy you're here. I'm Peri Lyons. This is Peri Lyons, New York City celebrity psychic. Well, by this, I mean me, but this whole thing, you get it. The AC just broke, so I'm schwitzing. I'm also going to, I usually use a blue spotlight and like a sort of trumpet to do this, but I'm going to take off my, I have a bathing suit on. I just got back from kayaking. I'm very happy to be here. I am here. Whew, there you go. How often do you get a psychic reading and a striptease in the same segment? I'm here to take your calls, and we have a evidential, at least 90% accuracy rate. So you can trust me. And I'm here to take your calls about your deepest, most cherished and vulnerable questions, because you can trust me. I trust you. So I'm sitting here waiting for your calls. And meanwhile, I'm going to do two things. I'm in my 100-degree apartment. I'm going to show you my hydrangea. Isn't that nice? And three things. I'm about to do the tarot psychic weather for the week. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more in the history of psychicness. And this is about the Fox sisters, who were two little girls who were born in Valley Cottage, New York, but then their family moved to like the Erie Canal area when they were 8 and 9. And that was it was kind of, well, everything was deserted in the 1840s and 50s. So, but one night, one of the little girls started to hear, she would ask a question out loud, and she would hear knocking as an answer. So she and her sister decided to ask more questions and ask it to knock once for yes, two for no. And they developed this relationship with what seems to be a poltergeist or some sort of spirit, or maybe they're just imagination in the walls. But they got so conversant with it that neighbors would come around to sort of listen to this phenomenon. The girls would say, you know, they called this thing Mr. Splitfoot. That's the name they gave to the thing that knocked on the walls in answer to the questions. Mr. Splitfoot, is it going to thunderstorm this weekend? One knock, no. Mr. Splitfoot, am I going to grow up to be rich and famous? 2 knocks, yes, which was a surprise. That'll come in a minute. And because there was no TV, no internet, and almost no entertainment, unless you count sort of embroidery, people would start showing up at their house, and they'd start asking questions. And first little girl would answer, they're the Fox sisters. For some reason, because I'm so hot, despite all my research, the names have just gone straight out of my head. So Fox Sister 1 would be able to sort of tell the fortune of their neighbors and describe things that were true, but they shouldn't have known about. Now, whether this was supernatural or was just, you know, the gossip that happens in a small town in the 19th century, who knows? But soon their fame sort of spread far and wide, and they got a reputation for being incredibly accurate. And then they got sort of discovered, and they would do these lectures and be on the vaudeville circuit, and got much wider known than one would expect with 2 little girls from upstate New York in the 1850s. And these 2 little girls, the Fox sisters, became the accidental founders of an international movement called spiritualism, which still exists today, but was, I can't even tell you how huge it was. It was bigger than the Kardashians. It was bigger than anything you can imagine. Spiritualism, starting in the 1850s, was not only about them receiving sort of answers from Mr. Splitfoot, but they would also, oh, hi, Kathy in Norwalk, California. Give me 3 minutes. I'm going to finish the story and just do the psychic weather. Meanwhile, Kathy, what I'd like you to do is what I ask all my beloved, cherished ducklings to do while they're waiting for their reading, which is to breathe in deeply and then breathe out like this, like you're blowing out a birthday candle. That stimulates the vagus nerve, not the vagus nerve, which is entirely different. So thank you for doing that. I'm just going to be about 2 more minutes, and I'll be right with you because I'm already getting information for you. So the Fox sisters started going these lecture tours, and they started to seem like they could communicate with the dead. And as they got more and more popular, their popularity coincided with the Civil War, during which so many Americans were so bereaved. My family, too. We fought for the Union side. Yes. In fact, my ancestor won a Congressional Medal of Honor at Gettysburg. I'm proud of that. So people were really, really anxious to talk to their loved ones they'd lost in this war. The spiritualism really gained a huge foothold after from 1860 on, and from 1865, it really took off. The Fox sisters continued to give lectures, do readings, were in the vaudeville circuit, became very rich and famous. There you go, fulfillment of that prophecy. Arthur Conan Doyle, who invented Sherlock Holmes and wrote up the Sherlock Holmes stories, was a big believer, and spiritualism became this huge, huge thing. And today you can still find spiritualists who talk to those who passed. I talk to those who passed, but I'm not a spiritualist per se. It's just dead people showed up and I had to be polite. But it's a fascinating movement. It's a fascinating story. I'm not really doing it justice, but I want to sort of get on to the next thing. But one thing I just found out is the house I grew up in, Valley Cottage, New York, was where the Fox sisters were born, and that was one haunted house. Who knows if it was them or not? But I just found that out, and it's kind of like, I guess destiny is a thing. Okay, speaking of destiny being a thing, I'm going to draw 3 cards. And Kathy, stay with me because I really have gotten a lot of stuff already for you. And all of you, stay with me and feel free to call in. So right now I'm going to do the Psychic Tarot weather for the week. We're starting today, going to the next Wednesday. So the first card I pull, I'm going to pull 3 cards, beginning of the week, starting today, second card, middle of the week, and third card, end of the week. You get the drift. And I never pulled these beforehand, so I'm going to pull them right now. I'm just going to go into my magic bag of 1 million cards. Hold on. Please talk quietly amongst yourselves. Okay, here we go. All right. Ooh, interesting. Well, looks like a lot of you are traveling. The beginning of the week. This card is usually, here's the thing. I've been doing this for a really long time, much longer than you think. And for me, this card usually means a short trip, often to New York, California, Florida, England, or France. I don't know why it works out that way for me in personal readings. But in general, for me, this card indicates a short trip, like a little vacation trip, maybe a weekend. Many people give it a much deeper meaning. The woman is being rowed by like a guardian angel who's in the back. You can see him there. She's surrounded by swords, so she's sad. Honestly, for me, it always means who knows, maybe I'm just shallow, but I don't think so. But this card means a short trip, and usually a fun one. So there you go. Interesting. Okay, this is a fascinating card. The beginning, this is for the middle of the week. When you look at this card, this is somebody in a dark cloak. He's looking at 3 spilled golden cups, and he's looking pretty bummed about it. Damn, my 3 golden cups spilled. However, if he turns around, he will see he has 2 upright filled golden cups. What this card does is to sort of caution you against the thing we all fall into, which is like looking at what's not working instead of turning around and looking at the full golden cup, which is what is working. So if there's a situation in your life that's kind of bumming you out and you feel like, put me in that, just turn around and look at what's working, because there's nothing better than gratitude and appreciation and noticing what you already have, including the ability to walk, the ability to see, the ability to breathe, all of those good things. And often there's, even in difficult situations, there's always something working. Ooh, interesting. Okay. And the third card. Third card, the 8 of Wands. The wands are flowering wands, so that means stuff is happening. This card often means that you have a lot of irons in the fire, or a lot of stuff feels up in the air. Maybe you're submitting your work to 8 different publishers, or maybe you're applying for 8 different jobs, or maybe you have 8 different boyfriends. And if you do, tell me your secret, because that sounds tiring. But eventually, one of these, or 2 or 3 of these sort of arrow-like things is going to hit its mark. You're going to get what you want. Don't give up just because things seem like they're up in the air. Whenever I get this, always the case. Somebody has a lot of irons in the fire. They're trying a lot of different things, but 1 or 2 things are really going to land, and there's going to be success. So I love doing that. Kathy, so that's our psychic tarot weather, or tarot psychic weather, or just weather. Kathy, are you still there, my darling?
I'm still here, yes.
Oh, bless you, my child. Oh, so nice to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm all in shape from kayaking today. Yay! But so tell me your birthday. That's how I like to connect to people. And then tell me your question. So what's your birthday, my angel?
Okay. I was wondering if there's any. Well, my mom asked the question if there's any spirits in my house.
Well, first I like to connect to people by having them tell me their birthdays. So just tell me your birthday first, and then we'll dive into that.
Okay, it's March 12th, 1983.
Oh, cool. Oh, we're really close together. I'm March 18th. Rock on, Pisces women. And you're in the Scorpio part of Pisces, which is the most powerful. So I bet you're a badass. Your mom wants to know if there are spirits in the house. I don't know if spirits is a word I'm looking for. You've noticed some stuff, like keys moving, things moving, lights flashing on and off. Is that correct?
Yes, but the flashing of the lights.
I'm sorry, say that again? Oh, flash, except for the flashing of the lights, that hasn't happened?
Yeah, the lights like flash here and there.
Yeah. Well, that's enough. Okay, so it feels to me like, here's what I suggest. A lot of people burn this herb sage to cleanse their house. I don't find sage powerful enough. So there are 2 things I do if there's a spirit. I think there are 2, I'll call them entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, 2 in your house. They're benevolent. They don't wish you harm. They just want your attention. One of them feels like it's a relative. It might be your mother's grandmother. Is your mother's mother still here? I think she is. So I think this is the grandmother.
No, she's not.
Okay. In that case, I think it's your mother's mother, who is a very powerful person and had a lot of personality, a lot of character. So I think your mom can talk to the spirit in the house and say, "Hi, Mom. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here, and you're welcome to contribute, but if you could stop moving stuff around, that would be nice." The second spirit, I'm not getting a clear read on. What?
Oh, do you see us moving to a different area?
If you tell it to, yeah. I can tell you. I can tell you what to do to ask it to very calmly leave. What you're going to do? It feels like 2 female spirits in the house. They're both fine.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is kind of active. One of them is kind of a repetitive spirit. I don't think your house is that old, right?
Maybe. Mom, is our house real old?
I think it was built in the 40s.
I think it was built like around the 60s.
Okay, 40s, 60s. Yeah, it doesn't feel that old to me. So what you can do, 2 things, and I'm going to say this to everybody who feels that they might have an issue in this area. If you've noticed things moving, or if something seems like it's playfully turning the lights on and off, whatever. First thing I do is tell them that you're grateful they were here, but they would be happier if they went into the light. What I'd like you to do is picture like a sort of glowing tube of light in the middle of the room, and you can tell them that it's safe to go into the light, that they'll be incredibly happy. Sometimes the times I've gotten rid of spirits in the house, there's this one house where this woman said she wanted a reading, but as soon as I walked in, I'm like, oh my gosh. It was a colonial, bear with me, it's a good story. It was a house from colonial times in Sleepy Hollow. And I went down to the basement, and there were two spirits there that hadn't left. One of them, I asked her, was this basement a bar in colonial times? And she said, yes, it was a tavern. And I said, and there's a little girl here. Her name is Rebecca, and she's about 6, and she's dressed like a little colonial girl. And she said, oh, Becky, that was my imaginary friend. A lot of times children, when they have imaginary friends, the imaginary friends are actually spirits or ghosts. So with Becky, I said, why? I'm opening up the light for you. So you want to open up the light for them? It's very easy. Just visualize it. And I said to Becky, I'd like you to go into the light to be able to see your mommy and your daddy and your dog. And she said, well, I'm scared because I'm scared mommy and daddy are mad at me because I broke a vase. And I said, trust me, they don't care. You're going to be really happy. And she was still a little afraid. So I turned to the bartender, who was still hanging out, hoping that the tavern would reopen because he loved being there. And the tavern wasn't going to reopen. So I said, would you mind taking Becky into the light for me? And so they both went into the light, and there was this, you could feel it, there was like this pop in the air. And the woman's cat went, wow, and ran up the steps. But so what you want to do is imagine a light, and then tell both of them, ask both of them very politely to go into the light, because they'll be much happier, and you'll be able to feel when they do that. You can tell them that anything they're worried about, if they're worried they can't go into the light because of something they did, tell them the light is filled with total forgiveness, and everybody will be really happy to see them. That usually works. And you can thank them for being there, but tell them that you're fine, you don't need their help anymore. They can still communicate with you from the other side, but visualize the light, like a tube of light, and you can order them to go into it. They almost always will, and you'll be able to feel like this sort of almost popping sensation. If for some reason you don't feel that popping sensation, I'm going to suggest that you get something called benzoin, benzoin. It's a resin. You can find it in Amazon. You can burn it in a little charcoal burner. It works much better than sage. It gets rid of everything. I inherited a house that had some spirits in it. I went around with a benzoin burner, and I did the light thing. I sleep like a baby now. So try those two things. Try the light thing first. Tell me how it works. That makes sense? You want me to spell benzoin again so you can write it down and order it? It's like $9. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So you're going to visualize a tube of beautiful light going up to the heavens. You're going to ask them to go into it. You're kind of going to order them to go into it. They're going to go into it. 99 times out of 100, they do. If they don't, try the benzoin, benzoin. Just as a resin, you burn it in like a little charcoal incense burner. That gets rid of everything. End of. Any other questions, my love? Or are we done? That help? Think you can do that? I know you can do it. You're Pisces. Pisces women, we all have the gift. You have the gift. You can do this. How does your mom feel about that? Hi, Mom. Kathy, are you there? Okay. Well, I guess that worked. I guess that worked for Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Thanks for calling. And we're going to get a next caller. But first, I'm just going to say hi, Danielle. Oh, I love that name, Danielle.
Hi.
What a beautiful name. Hi. All right, my love. I'm so happy to hear your voice. So first, I'm going to ask you to tell me when your birthday is, because that's how I like to connect with people. So when's your birthday?
Okay, it's October 19th.
Oh, great day. We love Libra. Yay. Oh, you're just a baby. Okay, my love. And it feels like to me, feels like you're a little scared to ask the question you really want to ask. But trust me, it's just between you and me. So what's the question you really want to ask?
I guess basically if my love is around and keeping an eye on me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Your love went to the other side?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. When was this? 2 years ago or recently?
Well, no, 4 years ago. On 4th of July, it was 4 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I ask he, she? I'm getting a he. Is that correct?
It's a he.
Yeah. Oh, I like him. What's his first name?
Shane?
I'm sorry, Change, did you say?
Shane. I'm sorry, it's Shane.
Oh, Shane. Oh, I love that name. What's the movie? Shane, come back, Shane. Literally. Oh, he's cute. Where are you calling from? Because I'm getting a cowboy vibe here. Are you calling from the West?
Yeah, I live in Ajo, Arizona. So I'm out west.
Oh, cool. Because I'm seeing him in a cowboy hat. He's like 5'9" or 5'10". Is that correct?
No, he's a little shorter. He's like 5'5".
That's okay. Often when I get guys on the other side, they will lie to me about their height because they think they can get away with it. So yeah, I got a little shorter, but when I asked him sort of psychically, he's like, "No, I'm 5'9".
Okay, he was a jokester though, but he was not anywhere near that.
Yes, and he is a jokester, and he's adorable. Does he have a dimple here?
Yes, very cute, but he knows it.
Yeah, he does know it. He still knows it.
Yes, he does.
Oh my gosh, you guys met in a really cute way, or something happened. The way you fell in love was really cute. There's some story behind that.
We knew each other when we were little kids, and he moved away.
Yeah, I got that.
And then we reconnected. We saw each other again. We weren't together for very long before he passed, but we reconnected again as adults.
That's a real true love feeling I'm getting there. He's got a very boyish
Yes,
face.
he's my soulmate.
Really
I mean, we've been together many, many times. He's my soulmate.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes to that. And somehow I got the kid connection, and I love that you guys met together. He was not expecting to go, so if he was like visibly in your vicinity for the next year after he passed, it's because he sort of didn't know what had happened. Is that correct?
That's what he told me in one of my sessions. He said that he stuck around because of what it did to me.
Yeah, I see that. He's very apologetic. He's really grown a lot. And it's funny, I think he felt self-conscious because he didn't have as much education as his intelligence sort of wanted.
Yes.
So on the other side, yeah, he's very smart though. Very funny.
Yes,
but he
was always very street smart and clever, but he just felt inferior because he was married before to someone else, and she kind of used that against him all the time.
Yeah, well, only really mean, insecure, sick people do that. So F her. But excuse me for saying that, but
no,
so I don't think he went to college. Yeah, not a good person. Bit of a sociopath. Did he have 2 kids with her though?
He didn't have kids with her. He had kids with other people, and she just kind of she wanted to dominate him. She wasn't very good to him. He was more like her property. We
does have kids. Okay, I'm getting 2 kids. So whoever that was with. We
didn't have children together, but he has 2 boys, and I have a boy and a girl. But he considered my kids his kids.
Maybe that's because I'm getting a boy and a girl and 2 kids, so maybe I'm picking up on that.
And then I have 2 grandbabies. I have 2 grandbabies that I watch over, and I think that's probably what he's showing you. They live with me.
Oh, he's very much with him. One of her grandbabies, one's a little boy. Do you even name like Rory
girls.
or they're both girls? Okay. There's a really beautiful sort of old-fashioned name for one of them.
No, they actually have, one's Nevaeh and one's Nareli.
Oh, those are really pretty names. The first one is the one he's the most with. I don't think the second one is sort of speaking or anything yet, but they're adorable.
You know why? Because I was given, like, they gave her to me, like, in foster care, the oldest one. And she was born with a very special syndrome. It's very rare. And so she had a lot of doctor's visits and stuff, and he was always there helping me because it was hard. It was a lot. We were very scared for her at first, but she's doing really good now.
Yeah, she's got a long, happy, healthy life ahead of her. And I'm not just saying that to make you happy. I'm saying that because it's true. And she's
That's
really
great. I'm so glad.
Yeah. And I love that he did that. And he's sorry that he left earlier than he meant to. We've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to talk to him for a second. First of all, he wants to thank you. You made him feel complete. You made him feel like a real whole person. You respected him as well as loved him. He had never really gotten that kind of respect from almost anybody before. You made him feel. There's so much gratitude and so much love coming from him. Can I ask you, did he have kind of a baby face? Was he kind of a cutie?
Yes. Yes.
And dark hair? Did he have darker hair? And kind of.
His hair was
medium?
like a dark, it was darker brown, but he was very self-conscious about his hair, and he would always shave his head, and I hated it.
Oh, no, because he looked so cute. He had bangs one time. I think that's really cute. We got about 30 seconds.
Yes.
What I'm gonna say is he's very much with you, and he's wearing cowboy boots, wearing a cowboy hat, wearing a plaid flannel shirt, and he's got a T-shirt under it, and he's calling you kitten. No, it's not kitten. Hold on. I think he called you something like cutie a lot. I can't quite get it. And we got about 30 seconds.
It's because I'm a cat lady. My cat just had babies, and he's always talking about my kitties.
There we go. That's what it was. Thank you for that confirmation. I knew it was something. We love cat ladies around here. I'm a calico girl myself. He just says he's always. You can talk to him. He can help you with things. They love being given tasks to do. So you can say, hey, help me with this today. Because they can't volunteer. I'll get into it some other episode. But he's very much with you. And he loves you. And he's so grateful. You made his life complete. And I'm grateful as just a human being for you doing that. Thank you, my love.